Hello everybody and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to my latest episode of New Album Spotlight. This is the show where I put the spotlight on a new album in prog and bring it to your guys' attention and hope that you'll go off and check it out based on my description. And it's a way for me to share the music that's really touching me and that I'm really enjoying, because I'm hoping that a lot of you subscribers and people watching these videos have similar tastes to me. You're most likely prog fans looking for new prog music. And so this is my way to share it with you and show you what I'm discovering, and hopefully it leads you to discover this great music. Today it's a bigger artist that I'm covering, a more major release, but I felt like I had to weigh in on it because of its notoriety and how big of a release it is. This is Trevor Rabin's new album, Rio. Trevor Rabin was born in Johannesburg, South Africa, and had a pretty successful career there. He formed a band, Rabbit, which was a pretty popular group back in the day. He came over to London after he left Rabbit and produced some notable albums as well, became a notable producer and was working on solo material as well. In the 80s, he met up with Chris Squire and Alan White and those guys and ended up becoming a part of Yes, sort of fell backwards into that. Originally, it was going to be a band called Cinema, but as things developed and John Anderson joined the project, it just made sense to call it Yes and just produce our Yes album. But he was very influential in that period of Yes, wrote tracks like Owner of a Lonely Heart, and was just a really interesting part of Yes history and brought them into a new era of the band, whether you like that or not. You know, Yes fans are a little bit split and divided. But regardless, Trevor Rabin is a really great musician, a great songwriter, a great producer, really incredible artist all the way around. And this new album really surprised me. I was surprised I enjoyed it as much as I did, because I thought it would be more in that 80s pop lane, which is really not totally my style of thing. But what I found through the experience of listening to this is that it's actually a super diverse record with some super proggy moments, and it gives Trevor Rabin a lot of time to shine as a guitarist, as an instrumentalist. So it's just a really eclectic grab bag of interesting parts of his personality and his songwriting skills and chops. So it comes out as a really cool record that I think you guys will like if you check it out. Many of you, I'm sure, have already checked it out and have formulated your own opinions. But you get a bit of everything here. It's a mixed bag, going from prog and pop to jazz to cinematic music, you know, more orchestrated elements, to some pure country rockabilly type stuff as well. So it's a fun time, and it always is grounded in these big anthemic, catchy pop hooks that he's known for, you know, but little prog flourishes all the way throughout. I'm just a big fan of what he's produced here. Some great playing, some wicked guitar solos, some intricate vocal work. You know, there's some interesting harmony vocals that sound a bit jazzy and really cool as they come together. Great blends, great arrangements. This is a great album, and especially surprising since this is his first vocal-led solo album since 1989's Can't Look Away. So it's been a long time since he's come out with a vocal solo album. You know, he's done a lot of soundtracks and some more instrumental stuff in the meantime, so he's definitely been active in the music scene. But it's surprising that he can come out with a cool a vocal rock album that's this polished and professional. You know, it feels like it's one he's probably been working on for quite some time to dial in and get everything right in the arrangements and in the production and all of that stuff. So some real highlights from the track list. I love Big Mistakes as an opener. It's just a big anthemic poppy joy to listen to. Bright catchy pop vocals and big riffs just immediately grabs your ear and is a fun song to listen to. Push, the second track of the album, is probably the proggiest piece. This sounds like the Yes tracks, the proggier Yes tracks from the 80s, from 90125 and Big Generator, with some of those Yes style vocals, some solid bass work like you'd expect from like a Chris Squire, some strange time signatures, but still grounded in some of that 80s aesthetic as well. There's buildings of sounds on top of each other, almost creating this classical Baroque type feel in how it's developed. And it culminates in some great violin work as well towards the latter part of the song. So all in all, just a really eclectic, fun, bright track for fans of classic 80s style progressive music. I think this is a no-brainer track that everyone can enjoy if you're a fan of Yes, and especially Trevor Rabin's Yes, I suppose. Oklahoma is another, these were like the 3 big singles, and I can see why, because Oklahoma is another beautiful track from the record with some finger-picking country-style acoustic guitar at the start that gives more of a country flavor before it gets a little more intricate and layers are added and gives it more of a cinematic piece feel with some atmospheric orchestrated backings. Some country twang guitar is always ever present in the makes, giving it that little country feel, but it's really cinematic and beautiful, and it's talking about some very serious subject matter with the tragic history of the 1995 terrorist bombing in Oklahoma. So it's just a really beautiful, expressive piece with an emotional guitar solo and emotional vocal performance and that big cinematic type feel to bring it all home. So I really loved that. Moving on through the record, we get a bit of a foot-stomping country romp with Paradise with a lot of fun stuff. We get some interesting stuff in the outro. In the last part of the song, you get these layered jazzy vocal harmonies and a twisted, almost loungy jazz type outro with like a stand-up bass and strange jazz chords. So once again, infusing an interesting different direction into what could have been a more straightforward country-ish type rock track. Thandy is interesting. You get these stuttering vocals over a funky, cool guitar riff. This is where he brings in a bit of his African type heritage to the makes here with some big African rhythms and poppy vocals in the chorus, some wicked fast guitar soloing. This is also taking on a serious subject matter with the African ivory trade. The namesake of the track is a rhinoceros who survived an attack from the hands of poachers. So once again, talking about some really notable issues in our world today and doing it in a really tasteful way. So I really love that. Goodbye gets back into that full-on country western type moment. You know, this is about as embracing the country as you could possibly expect. Tumbleweed has this really interesting jazz a cappella opening, not unlike some of the vocal arrangements you'd hear from Moon Safari, in fact. Great blend and vocal arrangements there, some great dreamy feel with some strumming acoustic guitar and some jazzier feel in the vocals. So really cool, jazzier track in Tumbleweed. I really enjoyed that one. These Tears is more of a heartfelt ballad with these beautiful strings. Eagle Eye is more of a bouncy and fun, poppier track with some chanting vocals in the background. And Toxic ends things with another more proggier note, similar to Push from before, maybe more in a bluesier vein with some really great proggy sounds in the background. Some catchy pop vocals, some fun jazz and blues vibes throughout the track. You get these layered jazzy vocals throughout once again. So it's like a culmination of everything that came before in this really great, exciting ending track with some cool guitar soloing once again that showcases Trevor Rabin's abilities as a player. So all in all, it's just a really fun ride of a record that takes you through all these different styles and feels, stuff that Trevor Rabin is known for and maybe some stuff that he isn't quite known for, but now he's showcasing his talents and his ability to dip his toes into these other musical waters, and I think it culminates in a really fun, varied, cool album. So recommended. I didn't expect to like this as much as I did, but it's a fun record and has a lot to enjoy, and so please check it out if you're able to. This is one definitely worth a listen for any prog fan. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this record and about Trevor Rabin in general. Would be fascinated to know the consensus opinion out there in the comments section. So thank you guys for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed this review and that you'll stick around for future reviews on the channel. So thank you guys, and I'll catch you later. Bye everybody.